Hi, I'm Chris Ropeta, Board Trustee of Tyrone Township, Livingston County, Michigan. I'm responding to an email from Clerk Moffler, which is identical to the Township's correcting the record communication that was emailed to Township subscribers and posted on the Township website. This was in response to a video clip of my wife, Jeanette, asking each board member if they had signed any NDAs. The Township clip from that video has gone viral on social media. Because the communication was distributed through official Township channels and presented as the position of Tyrone Township, the public deserves a complete and accurate record. The crafting and distribution of the Township's communication is not a Township position, rather a position of a few board members, and should not have been communicated without board discussion. I was not consulted, I was not asked to review it, and I did not approve of it before it was distributed, nor do I approve of what it says. Now, regarding NDAs, the Township's public statement in their communication says this: "It is simply untrue. No Tyrone Township Board or Commission member has such an NDA." It also states, "A recent Freedom of Information Act request asked Tyrone Township to produce any such NDAs, and the response to that request was that none exist." Those statements do not address the issue that Trustee Dean Haas and I previously attempted to place before the board. Our concern was never whether the Township as a public body had entered into an NDA. Our concern was whether an elected or appointed official, employee, contractor, consultant, attorney, or anyone acting on behalf of the Township could sign the confidentiality or non-disclosure agreement relating to Township business. That is why Trustee Haas and I asked that the board discuss adopting a policy prohibiting these arrangements and agreements. The remaining board members, Eden, Carnes, Moffler, Ferguson, and Tucker, refused to discuss it, and they also refused to put it on the agenda. The Township, in their publicized response, now points to FOIA responses as though they permanently answered the question. They don't. A FOIA response answers only whether the records existed when the search was conducted. It does not say anything after that. That's exactly why Trustee Haas and I believed a Township policy prohibiting these arrangements and agreements was necessary. Now, regarding public comment. The Township also published a response that says, "The call to public is not a time for debate between members of the public and a member of the board, and the call to the public is not a time for a question and answer session." Look, it appears that the Township officials who publish this don't like being asked tough questions that hold them accountable, but that is our duty as elected officials. The Michigan Open Meetings Act, or OMA, requires that a person be permitted to address a meeting of a public body under the rules established and recorded by that public body. The Open Meetings Act does not prohibit a resident from asking questions during the public comment. There are no Township Board bylaws that prohibit residents from asking questions during the public comment. It's a very frequent occurrence. Likewise, the OMA neither prohibits an individual board member from answering those questions if that board member chooses to do so. Whether a board member responds is entirely up to that individual board member. The Township's communication incorrectly suggests that because board members are not required to answer questions, residents should not ask them. Those are two completely different issues. Let's look next at how the Township does not follow the rule they describe. The Township's communication presents these statements as though they represent a consistently applied Township practice. They do not. Board members regularly choose to respond to residents during public comments. Supervisor Carnes himself has responded directly and even interrupted residents. Treasurer Jennifer Eden has spoken during residents' comments. Trustee Herman Ferguson and Clerk Moffler have both interrupted residents while they were speaking. Interesting. Board members have also engaged in extended back and forth discussions with residents at times. The township cannot tell the public that the public comment is not for questions or discussion while board members themselves decide on a case-by-case basis when they will ask questions or answer them, interrupt speakers, or engage in discussion. That's not a consistently applied practice. It's selective application. The township's communication incorrectly conflates a resident's right to ask questions with the board member's choice whether to answer them. Those are two entirely separate issues. Residents have broad latitude during their allotted public comment to express opinions, ask questions, criticize government actions, and raise concerns they believe are important. Whether an individual board member chooses to respond is a matter of that board member's discretion and how they respond. A board member's decision not to answer does not make the resident's question improper. Let's look at how the township then characterizes a resident. Now, the township's public statement also says, the member of the public complained when several of the board members did not respond. It further states, that same member of the public routinely complains. Those statements are not explanations of township procedure. They're criticisms of a resident who exercises her right to participate in township government. Residents have the right to ask questions. Residents have the right to criticize government. Residents have the right to repeatedly raise issues they believe remain unresolved. Nothing in the Open Meetings Act prohibits those activities. An official township communication should not single out a resident for exercising those rights. Whether intentional or not, this communication they published has the effect of chilling public speech and public participation. When an official township communication publicly criticizes a resident for persistently asking questions of their government, it sends a message to every resident that continued participation may result in public criticism from township officials. That's exactly opposite of what local government should encourage. The government should welcome participation, not discourage it, even if we public officials don't agree with it. Now, here are some requested actions. Number one, that the township publicly acknowledge that the correcting the record communication was not approved by the township board before it was distributed through official township communication channels. Number two, that the township publicly states that the communication does not represent the official position of the township board, but only represents the views of certain individual township officials. Number three, that future communications distributed through the township email or the website or any other official township communication platform clearly identify whether they have been approved by the board or are issues solely under the authority of an individual township official or officials, and which individuals those are. Number four, that future township communications present factual information without characterizing or criticizing individual residents, whoever they are, for exercising their rights to participate in township government. Official township communications should present facts, not characterize residents politically. They should encourage transparency, consistency, and public participation. I'm Chris Ropeta. Thank you. Take care, and God bless. I'm doing the things you elected me to do.